Few things send good people running from your organization faster than a bad leader. But as HR leaders, as hiring managers, how do you know when you're interviewing somebody whether they're going to be the kind of manager that people love working for and brings out the best in people, or they're going to be a complete jerk? So today, I'm going to share 6 questions that you can incorporate into your next interview to test if that manager is going to be one of those good ones or one of the ones that's going to send people out the door. Hi, I'm Chris Littlefield. I've spent over 15 years training leaders at top companies around the world how to be the kind of manager that people love working for and not the one who sends people running. Let's jump in. A couple months ago, I sat down with a friend who I'll refer to as Tracy, who had been with one organization for over 15 years. When we met, I learned she had recently changed jobs. I said, what sparked the change after all this time? She goes, Chris, I absolutely love my job, and I thought I was never going to leave. But a little over a year ago, a new manager was hired, and after 6 months of absolute misery working with this person, I couldn't take it anymore, and I quit. Research has shown that managers have a disproportionate impact on employees' experience at work. One study by Gallup found that 70% of the variance in employees' level of engagement at work is directly correlated with their manager, which makes sense. They're the ones who set the tone for our work, the ones who celebrate when we do great things. They're the ones who give us feedback and help us grow. And they're also the ones who, if they don't have the skills, are the ones who are going to make our lives miserable. But it's easy to test someone's technical skills. We can give them a work project to know, do they know how to do that specific function? But to be able to understand whether they're the kind of leader that people love working for is not so easy. So it's important to incorporate some behavioral interview questions into each one of our interviews to be able to get some insights, to be able to get a look into how they've treated people in the past, and are they the kind of leader that develop people, who take care of people, who nurture an environment where people feel appreciated. So let's jump into 6 questions that I love that help get to exactly answering that question. Now, the first thing we want to check on is, does this person understand the importance of their people's development? And one of my favorite questions to ask this is, tell me about the career goals of a past employee or coworker and what you did to support them to accomplish them. Now, this question is likely to catch this person off guard because it's not about them and their work, and they were probably not likely able to prepare for this. But a person who actually cares for their people's growth and development will remember that. They'll remember their past coworkers, how they wanted to develop and grow. They'll remember their promotions. They'll remember how they improved skills, and they'll be able to tell you that on the spot. So after the person's responded, if you're not sure if they're being honest or not, my favorite follow-up question: would you be willing to put me in touch with this person? Because I'd love to ask them about their experience working with you. Now, if that person goes like this, then they probably were just lying. But if they're open to be able to share that person's contact information, like, sure, I'd be happy to put you in touch with them, I was just talking to them last week, is also a signal to you the kind of relationships they keep with people after they leave a job or organization. Now, the next thing you want to check is, do they understand first the importance and how to appreciate employees? Now, this is one of the ones that's most important to me because I spend most of my time training leaders in how to nurture an environment where people feel valued and appreciated every day. And I spend most of my time trying to shift people's mindset away from thinking that it's about handing out gift cards and rewards and points and all the rest and incentives. And so what you want to ask here is, tell me about the different ways you've shown past employees and coworkers that you appreciate and value them. And you want to listen. Do they just talk about rewards, awards, and incentives? Because if they do, they're missing the boat completely. Great leaders understand, well, I sit down and I have conversations. We have meetings together and we talk about career development. I say thank you and I appreciate them after they do great work. We debrief after meetings. Those are the kind of things we're listening to, because managers who understand the importance of appreciation understand that it's not just about the things, it's about the time that we spend connecting with our people. One of the most important things in establishing psychological safety at work, which is critical for the engagement and retention of our people, is knowing that as employees, when we don't know how to do something, that our boss has our back and they're going to help us develop and grow. So one great way to be able to check on this is to ask a question like, give me an example of a time when an employee or coworker didn't know how to do a task and you helped them learn. What did you do and why? And so listen for the examples this person shares. How did they respond when that person didn't know how to do the task? What was the impact on them? You can follow up and ask about that. And then how did they help that person learn and grow? And what did they specifically do to do that? Did they put a plan in place? Did they develop that? Did they help them understand where they could find resources to learn? Did they send them to training? Did they support them? And did they check in and follow up afterwards? So listen to how that person responds, because it's going to give you insights on did they create that psychological safety on their team and how did they do it. One of the moments at work that I think shines a lot of light on the kind of leader a person is how they respond when somebody messes up, when they don't do a task the way that they wanted. And so this is a really important thing to ask about in the interview. And my favorite question to do this is, tell me a time when one of your employees or coworkers messed up and how you handled it. Why did you choose to handle it the way you did, and how did they respond? Now, if this person's been leading for any length of time or even just working, then they're going to have an example when an employee didn't do what they needed to do, when they asked for A and the person gave them X, or when that person said they were going to deliver and they didn't. It had an impact on the client, customer, or patient. And so listening to this story, listen to the words that they choose, listen to how they tell it, listen to their facial and body reactions as they tell this story. And it's going to give you a lot of insights on, is this a person that knows how to handle when things don't work out? And do they put in structures to be able to develop this person so that they can grow and don't make these mistakes in the future? Does this person own it when they make a mistake? Few things establish trust faster than a leader who, when they make a mistake, when they do something wrong, when they're a jerk, understands to apologize and own it. And few things make it harder to work with somebody than a manager who never owns their mistakes, one who's always pointing the finger to somebody else. And so this is an important thing to also ask about when we're interviewing somebody. And one great question to use, tell me of a time when you got frustrated with an employee only to later find out you were wrong. What was the situation and how did you deal with it? Now, it may be hard for a person to easily come up with an example on the spot. So you may ask questions. Tell me about a time when you asked an employee to do something, you got mad at them for not doing it, and later to find out they actually did. Or when you pushed for an idea, or you said that that person's idea was wrong, later to find out that it was actually a great idea. So tell me about one of those situations and how you responded. Or tell me about a time when you lost your cool at work with somebody and how did you handle it afterwards. And this is going to give you a lot of insights on how they respond when they get frustrated or when they make a mistake at work. Now, the last question that I want to throw onto the list is one that helps you understand how self-aware is this person about what they need to be at their best and feel valued at work. And the reason why this is important is because people who tend to be self-aware about what they need tend to be more tuned into other people's needs as well. And so a really great question to ask is, tell me of a boss or supervisor that made you feel valued at work. What did they do to make you feel valued? And how would you help your new boss learn to support you? Now, how the person answers this is going to let you know how self-aware they are and the kind of things that motivate them. And then the bonus in this is they're going to help you understand more their motivation for the job. Do they talk about promotions? Do they talk about incentives? Do they talk about rewards? If they are the whole time, then you know that's probably the thing that motivates them. If it was about, hey, they asked my feedback, you know what, they always express their appreciation, or they included me in bigger meetings, then you understand that's their motivation as well. And so this will help you understand how self-aware is that person about their needs, and give your leader or the leader that's going to be managing them insights in how they can support this candidate if you do choose to hire them. So which one of these questions are you going to incorporate into your next interview? And also, if you have go-to questions that you always ask, please share them in the comments below so we can all learn together. Once again, I'm Chris Littlefield from Beyond Thank You. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and share it with one other person you think will make a difference for. And together, we can build environments where people feel valued every day. Take care.